Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Rita's Book Club. This week I'm reviewing The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This is the prequel to They Both Die at the End, and I was so excited to read this when Adam announced it because I wanted to know how Deathcast was created. In my review of the first book, that was one of the things I've mentioned because I wanted more details and the theme was so interesting. So this book happens in the first night that Deathcast goes live, and there's one question on everyone's minds around the world, and it's: can Deathcast actually predict when someone will die, or is just an elaborate hoax? Arian Pagan has waited years for someone to tell him that he's going to die due to a serious heart condition. That's why he signed up for Deathcast, so that he and his family could know what's coming. Valentino Price, on the other hand, is restarting his life in New York. He has a long and promising future ahead in the modeling world, and he only registered for Deathcast after his twin sister nearly died in a car accident, and Orion basically convinced him. Orion and Valentino cross paths in Times Square and immediately feel a deep connection. But when the first round of end day calls goes out, their lives are changed forever. One of them receives a call and the other doesn't. Though neither boy is certain how the day will end, they know they want to spend it together, even if that means their goodbye will be heartbreaking. I was expecting this book to break my heart and to become a puddle of tears, but I wasn't ready for how it would really break me. I just couldn't stop crying with it by the end of the story, and it's just such a beautiful story of first love, friendship, and found family, which is always a plus to me. Both Orion and Valentino had very different and complicated stories and backgrounds, but I guess that was what brought them together, and how they were able to create such a deep connection in just less than 24 hours. They literally had such golden pure hearts, always trying to help others, which is super important to how the story will develop. I'm trying not to give any spoilers away. So Orion was such a strong young man that really had to overcome his parents' death at 9/11 at the Twin Towers. It was such a sad moment to me when he's telling his life story to Valentino, and I cried so hard just imagining this little boy in a school waiting for his parents to pick him up. And then it became even more heartbreaking when we learned that he has a heart condition and needs a new heart. This boy couldn't catch a break, and even though he wanted to live life, he also couldn't do it in the way that he truly wanted. Valentino, on the other hand, had a good childhood, but parents that didn't accept his own sexuality when he came out to them. I love to think that Valentino was able to find a new family with Orion's one, even just for a few hours. But what crushed me was his relationship with his twin sister, Scarlett. They were trying to get a better life together in New York and weren't able to spend Valentino's last day together. Every time they talked on the phone, the tears came streaming down my face and it broke my heart. As I said before, I was super curious to know more about Deathcast and how it was created, and even though we didn't get the full story on how they knew when people were going to die, it was so interesting to see how they developed the company and dealt with the first night of calls, not only from the perspective of the bosses, but also from the perspective who was giving the calls and all the tiny little details that went wrong, and how it all connected to not only the first book, but to Orion and Valentino's own story. I love how Adam Silvera is able to create all these backstories and connections. It's brilliant. Even though death is still the main subject of the book, I feel like the author was able to also explore even more meaningful issues like sexuality, homophobia, domestic abuse, grief, and trauma, just to name a few. I get all these not only from Orien's and Valentino's perspectives, but also we got them from the secondary characters around them that had so much significance to their stories. Finally, I just have to say that I really loved how Adam incorporated the Rufus and Matteo cameo in this book, because it was so sweet and beautiful, a bit of foreshadowing in all of it, which made it even more lovely for those who have known these characters before, but also tiny little details and personality traits that are so important for the first book. Again, this is one of those books that will leave you and leave all of us thinking in what ifs and appreciating life even more. As always, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Rita's Book Club for more content. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Happy readings!